So, when former Sex and the City actress Cynthia Nixon first announced that she would be running against Andrew Cuomo to be the next governor of New York, I was sort of ambivalent. I didn't really know what to think about it because a lot of these celebrities and actors and actresses who are liberals, they're usually just limousine liberals. They don't actually seem to know anything about the real struggle that faces ordinary Americans. But Cynthia Nixon quickly earned a lot of credibility, not just with myself, but among the progressive community, because one, Zephyr Teachout came out and endorsed her almost immediately, which says a lot. Zephyr Teachout is a progressive heavyweight. If she is backing you, then you're certainly someone who's on my radar. But then Cynthia Nixon began to really speak out against the Democratic Party establishment, and recently she stated that she welcomes the Democratic Party establishment's hate because she knows that she's kind of a thorn in their side. Think of the things that she's endorsed. Medicare for all. She's the future of the progressive movement. And I never thought that I would say this about a celebrity. I mean, I'm not familiar with her work, but certainly everything that she's talking about politically and policy-wise, it resonates with me a lot. So certainly her insurgent campaign against Andrew Cuomo from the left is turning out to be one of the most interesting stories of the 2018 midterm elections. And I'm all in. I've drunk the Cynthia Nixon Kool-Aid. So this brings me to a broader point. I think Bernie Sanders should endorse Cynthia Nixon. I mean, does she really need his endorsement at this point? Not necessarily. But this will allow progressives who are still skeptical, to know that she's not just like these other limousine liberals. She's actually progressive. She actually really cares about the policy issues. And there's nobody speaking out louder against money and politics, against legalized bribery than her right now. And the great thing is that she actually has a chance of winning. She has more name recognition than Andrew Cuomo because she's an actress. She's a huge actress. So this came out of nowhere. Cynthia Nixon just randomly became a hero for the progressive left, and I think that if Bernie Sanders were to endorse her, really, she would be unstoppable. She doesn't need it again, but it would allow her to get that street cred among the progressive community for people who haven't looked into her further, who are just, skeptical like me, because I was skeptical at first, but she's great. So Bernie, if you are watching this, please endorse her. And, I hope that Our Revolution endorses her if they haven't already. If she were to win, she could potentially be the future of the progressive movement. And to me, that's really exciting. We need more leaders to step up and take the mantle that Bernie Sanders has created. So, Cynthia Nixon, 2018. Who knew that, I'd be this excited over a celebrity when we have a reality TV show star as the president. So, but, the policy, it speaks for itself. She's fantastic.
The Koch brothers donated $87,000 to Andrew Cuomo when he first ran in 2010 because they knew a good investment when they saw one. They knew that whether or not he called himself a Democrat, his policies were going to benefit corporations like theirs and billionaires like them. And they were dead right. Since taking office, Andrew Cuomo has given massive tax breaks to corporations and the super rich, while he has decimated our infrastructure and starved our state, its cities, and its rural areas of their most basic services. His inhumane budgets have been passed on the backs of our children, our elderly, our working class, and people of color. And we hear all the time about how the big money interests control D.C., but if Washington is a swamp, Albany is a cesspool. Andrew Cuomo promised to clean up Albany, but instead he and his cronies have cleaned up for themselves. There is a reason that people close to Andrew Cuomo keep winding up under indictment for corruption. His right-hand man, Joe Prococo, was just convicted of selling his office to the highest bidder. Cuomo has built a $31 million war chest with the donations of millionaires, billionaires and corporations. But do you know how much of that came from small donors? 0.1%. So if you're a regular person in New York, the chance that Andrew Cuomo is going to care about your concerns is exactly that. 0.1%. New York's 8 years under the Cuomo administration have been an exercise in living with disappointment, dysfunction, and dishonesty. If we had a real Democrat as a governor, it's not just that we would have a Democratic Senate. We could have fully funded our public schools. We could have enacted campaign finance reform. We could have enacted the women's equality agenda and the New York Dream Act. We could have fixed our subways, strengthened rent control, and become a leader in renewable energy. I am running for governor because I want these things for New York and for New Yorkers. We want our state back. We want our government to work again. We are tired of corruption and dysfunction in Albany, and we are tired of fake corporate Democrats who won't lift a finger unless their donors say it's okay. We are going to do things differently. I am not accepting a single dime of corporate money. This campaign belongs to the people who are part of it. And that's why I'm asking you to get involved. We don't have to settle for things the way they are. We all know New York could be better, but to make it better, we have to do it together.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.